Your front rack position sucks. Elbows high just does not work. You're trying, but the bar just keeps coming forward. Today I'm not going to only show you why, but how to fix your horrible form. You're welcome. So I've heard it all too often. If you want a front squat without the bar collapsing over, you just need to keep your elbows high. Elbows high, man. How hard is that? Well, obviously it's pretty hard because a lot of people haven't been able to do it successfully. And it's not necessarily your fault or your trainer or buddy or whoever is giving you the cue because they're not being thorough enough with you. When they see the bar collapse forward, they're assuming that the bar is collapsing forward because your elbows dip. When in reality, your elbows are dipping because the bar is already coming forward. The real root of the problem is your back. Now, we already know from back squatting that we want our upper back to be tight. And by tight, I mean pulling our scapula or our shoulder blades back and down, depressing them down, right? This will keep our upper back rigid. But we also want our lower back rigid. So what we want to do is we want to do something Elliot Halse would refer to as a belly breathe. And that's essentially where you would take a big breath into your stomach, not into your chest, into your stomach. Into your chest would be a shallow breath, whereas into your stomach would be a deep breath. And what this does is not only help stabilize our core, but our entire body, and it mimics intra-abdominal pressure that weightlifting belt is so common for, and helps you essentially prevent from folding over like a taco. Now we know from back squatting that you need to have a tight back, but more than that, you need to have an upright posture. And I'm going to link a video, someone that I like to follow that I recommend that you follow, Zack Telander. And he essentially goes on to explain why sitting back on your heels is a BS cue. For optimizing your form, you want your back, your whole body for that matter, to be as rigid as possible so you can maximize the power off the ground, but you also want to be upright in your posture, in that when you sit back, your center of balance is going off of the center of your body, which doesn't make much sense if you think about it from a physics perspective. Because when we sit back, if this is our butt and this is our shoulders, when we sit back, we're naturally coming forward and our torso angle is changing. Now what this allows us to do is when it's on our back, it doesn't really matter because it should be should be sitting right about here. So when you lean forward, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Not inherently bad, just inefficient. But with the front squat, we can't get away with that. What we want to be doing in the back squat and the front squat is we want to sit straight down. So what we want to do, I'll go ahead and show you. What we want to do is ideally you'd already have it in the front rack position. You'd be taking it off the J-hooks, right? So you're still thinking elbows high, and then you want to take a deep breath in with your scapulary retracted back and down, and then you're going to go ahead and go straight down. And now the goal is to have your butt touch your ankles. Now mobility is going to restrict this. I can't even do this, but that's the goal, right? So you're going to go as far as your mobility will permit and then back up. And it's important to note that the barbell isn't going to be in front or on top of your delts. It's going to be behind your delts. Behind your delts, right? And the reason for this is that your wrists aren't actually holding the bar up. They're just there for guidance. I think they call it like a zombie or a mummy squat, where essentially you don't even need your hands, but they're there for guidance, right? It's a good safety check. Now, another problem a lot of you are going to have with your front rack position is it's going to be choking you. And if it's not choking you, you're probably doing it wrong. Because if it's not choking you, it's probably sitting in front of your delts instead of behind your delts. And that's where you want it, behind your delts. And now again, even if you try not to sit back and you're trying to stay upright, now some of you are still going to collapse over. And the reason for this is that you're used to back squatting by looking down at the ground or looking forward. When you look straight or even down, first thing is that wherever your head goes, your shoulders oftentimes will follow. So if you're looking down, your shoulders are going to probably roll forward, and by looking down, your thoracic spine is like this, which means it's going to offset the rest of your entire spine. And furthermore, it's minimizing the distance that you have. Remember we said that the bar is going behind your delts, in between your neck. Now this is a tip I picked up by Clarence Kennedy. You want to look up. And by looking up, essentially you're just moving your neck out of the way.